with the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they enter play here. They come in with some fresh legs as they got the week off last week thanks to the early season bye.
And usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Two of the bigger disappointments in the first quarter of the season doing battle here as we get this one underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Niners heading out behind their 6-year quarterback, Jimmy. Jimmy, of course, sat behind Tom Brady for much of his tenure in New England. Won his first 5 starts as a Niner in 2017, then the injury last year. So still some question marks surrounding number 10 out there under center. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And a quick look now at the offense for the 49ers.
And they should come in pretty well rested because they had their open week last week. Ideally, all teams want to have that open week later in the year rather than this early. But you make do with what they give you. So you take the time off, rest up, heal up, and come in ready to play.
Here we go, here we go.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And it's caught by Saleh. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
From the gun, they will run with McKinnon. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Garoppolo. He finds McKinnon, complete. 7 yards there and a first down. Well, that's a combination that 49er fans are happy to see, Garoppolo to McKinnon, and they want to see a lot of it. They didn't get to witness it at all last year. Remember, McKinnon got injured before the season began. But you think back to his final year in Minnesota in 2017, had almost 1,000 yards of total offense, a lot of those on the receiving end of things. He is definitely a weapon out of the backfield like we just saw.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On first down now, run with McKinnon. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. 8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Sheldon Richardson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
We're talking about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. CD, you know there were quite a few Bears fans back in January saying, why didn't we hold on to that Robbie Gould guy?
Well, it's a legitimate question. 33 of 34 for San Francisco in 2018. The crazy stat of the year, he missed more extra points, 2, than he did field goals, 1, in the 2018 season.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 23. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now the 3rd leading rusher among rookies last year, it's Nick Chubb. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D. Ford with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said at the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw is Garoppolo. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. This is Mostert. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he will have the 1st down as he's brought down up near midfield. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. 2nd down, McKinnon. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a 1st. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
23 yards, the final tally. Garoppolo on the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now Mostert. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. So they need 2 yards here on third down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on third down conversions on this drive. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Looking ahead to Week 6 of the NFL, some big games next weekend, including the first London game of the year. Panthers and Bucks, they'll do battle in the UK. And back home, it all starts Thursday night with one that a lot of folks have circled on the calendar. The Giants and the Patriots. The Pats maybe still stinging from the losses of Super Bowl 42 and 46 at the hands of the Giants. On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Hunt. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. The pass rush specialist, D. Ford, in on the stop.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
To throw, Mayfield. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. He was looking for Landry that time.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the 1st down carry. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Here we go.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They go play action here on 1st down. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Garoppolo. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Kevin Johnson. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage.
56. Here we go.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. The linebacker, Fred Warner, right there on the coverage. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
They're indeed going. It's Mayfield. And it's complete. Hooper. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Set. 20. Mike 5-4. Ricky. Point it right.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander. On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Appeared to me he was just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield, try to hit his back. Unable to connect. Should have been an easier throw moving to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier, obviously, for a right-handed quarterback. If he was going to his left, a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
56. Run.
From the gun, Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They run with Hunt, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and just like that, it's 3rd down. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert. Seibert's kick is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So 3 drives now for this. Gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offensive coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe somebody to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
I got 19. He's mine. He's not going anywhere. Double tight, double tight.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now 3rd down is looming, a pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The Niners have the 1st down on a gain of 11.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Here we go. 180. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Mostert. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break as we send you cross-country to Orlando. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Touchdown, defense. King.
They run again with Hunt. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. And remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Robbie Gould on for the extra point. it's up and good to make the score 13-3. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 24.
Alert, 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 alert.
To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. Fred Warner coming off a strong rookie year in on the stop for the Niners. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Now Benjamin. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. From the 45 on 2nd down, Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Garoppolo gets this into the hands of Taylor. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. There's Mostert. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a 1st down.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo connects with Kittle underneath. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Garoppolo now. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Sheldon Richardson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
After the sack on 1st down, Garoppolo. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Here's Garoppolo to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead stretches 16-3 now. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Mayfield now. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Eluding, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nick Bosa in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
3rd and long for Mayfield. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. On play action, it's Garoppolo. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl quarterback Denzel Ward. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield, he's going to sling this. He's got a man, complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 49 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Mayfield. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Alert 33.
A 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Forced out to his left. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Mayfield to throw it. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this third quarter of play. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the fourth. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the fourth. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But the bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And that is caught. Oh, what a catch at the 5-yard line. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. And he'll give it here to his running back. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. The Niners on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 5. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Now Landry. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the...
Pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Baker Mayfield, as a rookie, 3 times he led the Browns back to victory in the 4th quarter. What can he do here in year number 2? Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 32 that time. You're at the point in the game right now where you got to start taking some chances, and that chance paid off.
And it's a good idea to be that aggressive because, truthfully, the defensive guys, they're just playing not to make a mistake. That often means you can make a big play against them.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Hey, watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Mayfield looks to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D Ford in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Remember, throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And the pressure gets to him again. Nick Bosa His second sack of the night.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now Mayfield. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. They'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Like 80!
Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Garoppolo looks to throw. And he will find his receiver, Pettis, for a 49ers touchdown. Dante Pettis, his first touchdown on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Beckham and the Browns set to take over again. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
They'll run. This is Hunt. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run out as they stop him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Hey, alert 33. Let's go.
Now Mayfield on 4th down. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
Here we go, here we go. 180! Let's go,
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee.
Offside, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
Here we go.
The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another 2nd and goal. So the victory here for San Francisco, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever.
I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we pack up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after. Down from laughter. When they come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and ain't my last one. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down and get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it killing and did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top when the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up.